over the last year, I spent a lot of time going out and filming you guys at calls and stuff, and I've always just, been, pretty impressed. Obviously, I think the calls you're talking about where you have to cut back are probably like somebody threw a rock through my window or this kind of stuff. But I've always, noticed the robberies, the murders, the hit and runs, that kind of stuff. You guys are still on it.
You're absolutely right. We classify calls in terms of a priority, and priority 1P call is an in-progress call. That robbery that's in progress, that burglary that's in progress. Our response time, in spite of our staffing reductions, has always been from the time received the dispatch to first officer on scene less than 5 minutes, because we'll break a car free from somewhere in the city to go to that particular problem. Where we've seen some slippage in our community is that that lack of a personal contact when it comes to the rock that's been thrown through the windshield of a car. It happened in the middle of the night. There's no suspect information. There's no evidence. We'll direct the citizen to make an online crime report. It's a better use of resources than us sending a police officer out to say, yeah, there's been a rock thrown through the car. Mm-hmm. The burglary that happens perhaps or is discovered at 4:30, 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, we may not be able to get to that as quickly as we could in the past, or as quickly as we can maybe on a Sunday afternoon. So we've had to triage our calls and prioritize our calls throughout the day. One thing I tell the officers, and they fully embrace this, is that it's much more important at the end of the day to recognize the name that's above your left breast pocket rather than your right breast pocket. On your left breast pocket is a badge that says City of Modesto, and on your right breast pocket is your name. And at the end of the day, what's most important is that the City of Modesto, the Modesto Police Department, and the citizens we serve are served professionally by a competent police department. The personal accolades, the individual accolades will come to those officers, but at the end of the day, what's most important is the Modesto Police Department succeeds, the Modesto Police Department serves, and that's why we've completely embraced this teamwork. Today, I'm working a robbery case. Tomorrow, I may be doing something completely different. Today, I'm working on filling out the paperwork on a towed car, and you're working the drunk driver. And tomorrow, that may flip-flop. So we work really well as a team.
And you know what else I noticed that I was really surprised at? Was just the seamlessness to how you work with other agencies. Is that common in America, or is that kind of unique to this area? Because I mean, it's like seamless. Stanislaus County Sheriff, CHP, Modesto Police Department. It's like you're all on the same wavelength.
Well, I've heard stories. I've only worked in Modesto, but I've heard stories that there are some locales, perhaps even in California, where you can't get a police chief and a sheriff in the same room, let alone to talk about issues and work through issues and what have you. I'm very fortunate and blessed to work in a community that the police chiefs meet once a month, along with the sheriff and the DA and the chief probation officer, and we talk about issues. We work through issues, and we do blur the lines of geography, so to speak, and the color of your uniform and the color of your patch. We recognize that this is a team sport. We recognize that this is a community that is reeling in crime sometimes, that needs help, that wants to be serviced, and I can't do it alone, and nor can the sheriff do it alone. But in tandem, collectively, us working with the sheriff's office, sheriff's working with us, working with the community, partnering with neighborhoods and what have you, then we can work together to hopefully make our community safe. So I'm not surprised by hearing that it's seamless on the street.
Yeah, I mean, it could be even Ceres Police Department coming to Modesto going to Ceres. It's like one thing, you get the vibe of being out there on the streets, hearing the call first come out, showing up on scene. It's like really seamless that the job's going to get done
right,
as fast and as proficient as it can be, even if it's going to be a CHP officer there first or Modesto PD. And I'm just been really impressed.
That's the way we try to do it. Those departments are faced with the same staffing reductions we are, and so working together collectively, we'll get stuff done. So it's working in Stanislaus County has been a blessing because the law enforcement leaders in this county work well with one another. We don't get caught up on egos and get caught up on territory and geography, those kinds of things. We recognize we got to work together. And I lean on the sheriff's department for air support and a bomb squad, and he leans on me for other things, and those kinds of things. So it just works really, really well together. It is seamless, and I'm glad to hear that.